Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Matt, and today I want to talk about learning languages while you're working out. And I think this is so critical because it's really a great way to learn languages while also just getting your daily fitness in or whatever. And one of the great things about working out is that it's just this perfect opportunity to improve your listening skills, but a number of other language learning skills as well. So, when you think about it, right, maybe you work out for 30 minutes or an hour, right? There's just this huge opportunity to combine that workout session with language learning. And so maybe you just don't listen to any music at all or any audio while you're working out. Maybe you like to listen to music. Rather than doing those things, try listening while you are working out, right? Maybe that's putting on a podcast in a foreign language or watching some YouTube videos, or at least listening to it in the background. Maybe it's listening to an audio program that you're using. Whatever it is, give that a shot. And slowly but surely, you're going to get more listening comprehension in. And the thing about listening comprehension is that it's typically a pretty neglected skill amongst a lot of people, and so people definitely don't listen enough. And if you're going to be working out, it's just a great way to get hours and hours of language learning time in and listening comprehension skill for pretty much no extra cost, right? And the thing is, you don't have to listen the entire workout session, right? You can, put it on for 15 minutes and then go do music, right? It could be at the beginning of the workout or the end or maybe even the middle. You don't have, if you enjoy listening to podcasts or to music, you don't have to give up those things completely. Just consider maybe 15 minutes, 30 minutes. And, if you're working out, 3 days a week, that's 45 minutes of language learning time in if you just put in 15 minutes of your workout to language learning listening. And, sometimes that actually might even be the more optimal solution, right? Because sometimes, with language learning, listening, it gets really taxing on your mind, right? And so maybe you're just not really absorbing a lot of material after 15 minutes. And so it actually might make sense to put on music after that 15-minute window. I think a couple of things to think about, though, when you're listening and working out is that there's going to be times where you're distracted. You're really focused on that running up that hill or that certain weight set or whatever it is. Don't be just super obsessed with this idea of always being super paying attention, right? There's probably going to be these moments where you fall in and out of focus. Be okay with that, right? You can't really expect, especially while you're working out, to be 100% focused on the listening, right? Chances are you'll kind of go in and out of focus. And so be okay with that idea. And honestly, that can be pretty beneficial, right? Even if you're not fully just into the material as you're doing that, just getting that stuff in the background is helping you because you're getting used to those sounds. You're getting used to the way the language is structured. And then you're actually paying attention, maybe as you're taking a break or a pause. And so I think it's just important to remember not to be super obsessed about, absorbing every single piece of information while you're working out as well. And this is a great way too, by the way, if you're running as an exercise, right? Just put on that podcast while you're running. Some people struggle with listening to podcasts in a foreign language while running. I know it's not the easiest thing for me to do, but it's just a great way as well to just get that language learning time in, while you're working out. It doesn't have to just be weights. It can be running as well. Now, that being said too, it doesn't actually only need to be limited to listening to audio content. One great way is that in between your sets or your breaks for your workout, you actually could just use your phone and study grammar rules, for example, right? And this might seem kind of weird, right? But if you have just some grammar explanations, maybe it's some declension tables or something along those lines, in between your sets for 15 seconds, 30 seconds or whatever, just pull out your phone and review that table once and then go do your workout. Maybe it's just, not doing it after every break, but every other break. And, you might think to yourself, oh, well, how is 20 seconds of grammar review or slowly reading this grammar explanation in 20, 30-second increments helping me? Well, it actually does, because if you think about it, if you do it between all your breaks, that's a good way to get 10 minutes, 15 minutes of grammar explanation throughout your entire workout, right? If you've been reading 30-second bursts every time you take a break while working out, you're getting a lot of grammar explanations in for pretty much, no time investment. And, it's actually a great way to just memorize some of those grammar rules, because you're actually, you're almost studying it, right? In between those breaks, you read the table, the declension table once, boom, do your next set, and then read the table again. And so it's this great way to kind of help memorize some of those things that maybe you need to memorize or would like to memorize in the language learning process in general. So that is, an excellent way. Another thing that you can do in the breaks, obviously, is, obviously just read in a foreign language on your phone during the break. You could also be doing a language learning app. There's just so many different variants of just using that downtime, even if they're 30-second increments, to do language learning. And like I said, you might think, this is not useful, it's just 30-second increments. Well, those 30 seconds over the long run add up, because if you keep doing it, that's 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 15 minutes. And then over the course of a lot of workouts, that's a lot of time that pretty much was already dedicated in your workout. You're just really being super optimized and super maximizing in your time. So definitely, don't limit yourself just to listening. I think listening is probably the easiest one to do. It's the lowest ask, but don't be afraid to look at some grammar explanations, or even doing like vocabulary flashcards on your phone, or reading, or whatever it is. And you actually don't even need to necessarily use your phone. Maybe you don't want to use data or internet. Bring a hard book, right? You can bring a grammar book with you to the gym, or whatever. So, there's just a lot of options to utilize that time. And, like, it might not seem like a big deal, but over the long run, I mean, it's just huge. You can really just make a ton of progress, right? Because 15 minutes, here, an hour every single week over the course of a year is just going to add a huge amount of progress for yourself with pretty much no extra time investment. So let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.